I'm just not talking because I'm shy or scared or like I'm just waiting for the right moment, then some people will think that like how come she not friendly?
Is it because you got a little bit RBF? Hello everyone, welcome to the Hot Pot where we hop into different parts of spaces people find themselves in during life's transitions. I'm Joie.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Q.
And today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people struggle with, which is dun dun dun, socializing from an introverts and extroverts perspective.
Wow.
So since there are three clear extroverts on the couch, we need an introvert today. And our special guest is my sister from another channel called Clarity. She's Lynette.
Thanks for having me. Hi, I'm Lynette.
You introvert?
I am. The
Yeah.
introvert in me is screaming. My armpit is sweating.
Honestly, mine too.
He is a bit warm today.
Let's talk about today's topic.
Do you all think that this extroversion, introversion thing defines you?
I don't think it defines me, but I think it definitely plays into like how I lead my life, especially the social aspect. If my friend asks me like, hey, tonight you want to hang? Or hey, tomorrow you free? My answer will always be no, because I didn't prep myself for it.
How long you need to prep?
Like if you give me 1 week, like if you say like next week we hang out, then I'll be like, oh okay, then
1
next
week
week,
lead time
yeah, then I'll pick a day where it's like, oh, this whole day I'm at home, so at night I can go out.
Wait, does this mean, like, does this apply to your close friends also? Because like, I wouldn't think that you need to prep yourself for your super close friends, right?
So I think very selective people, like I don't need that. But even then, like maybe sometimes I will feel too tired to like
Right.
even. Yeah.
At least a 2-day heads up.
Ish, yeah.
I totally understand. Like for some people, I don't need to prep because I know I don't need to be of a certain like at a certain energy level to reciprocate or be ready to absorb. Because there are just some people who take up more energy when you're hanging
Yeah.
out with them. Not to say that they're energy vampires, but it's just sometimes you need to mentally prepare for more like hyper vibes
Yeah.
versus like, you know, have you heard of a couch friend?
No.
Yeah.
A couch friend is just someone that you can just have on your couch and you're just
Or
don't
scroll,
chill,
yeah,
TikTok.
like
Oh.
scroll, just sit down, don't need to talk. You literally is as if you're alone, but the person's just there.
Okay, but from an introvert point of view, right, do you usually feel anxious based on the idea that you're going to meet new people?
Yes. Like, have you all heard of the term anticipatory anxiety? Like I always get like anxiety, like okay, later should I prep to have someone to go in together with?
Oh.
Oh, like, hey, meet me outside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
5
yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Right.
Like where are you? Like we meet, or like I will feel like okay, later I don't be awkward. Like I will prep myself. Things like
Right.
that. Do y'all experience that as extroverts?
I going into events, I don't like going alone, but I think that stems from my fear of looking stupid. Yeah.
Hey, why you laugh?
No, I have this conception that if I look like I don't know what I'm doing, I kind of look a bit like stupid. Like if I walk in alone, right, everyone kind of looks at you a bit different. I think it's a bit like herd mentality. Like you feel stronger in a pack or in a
right.
crowd. Like if you're blur together, you all still look cool blur together, right? But if you blur alone, you just look a bit lost. And like, I don't want to say the word pathetic, but I feel like, because I am harder on myself, I feel like I will look a bit pathetic. So I'm a bit scared.
Western culture, like they will tell me like they can go clubbing alone. So they one person, right? Then they go to the club, then they go there, then they meet people. Then they just dance and drink alone.
Wow.
Until they meet someone. Yeah, so I think it might be a cultural thing. Maybe we are like just raised or brought up to be very like need to do things as a pack.
What about you, Lynette? Would you go to a bar alone?
I think theoretically I would.
Mm.
Like I don't mind just sitting there, eat alone.
Why
drink
people can't
alone.
talk to you how?
I think that's
Oh, no,
anyone's
wait.
nightmare.
I think she doesn't mind being alone.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want people to talk to her.
Yeah, correct,
no,
correct. I
so
don't-
people can't talk to you how?
Yeah, so don't talk to me lor. It's like-
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like, how will you react?
Actually,
like,
I don't talk leh.
Okay, say now you're okay, ladies. You're
are in a bar
You're
right
in a
now.
bar alone.
Yeah.
You are the guy.
Okay, then some guy come up to you and you're like, hey, are you here alone?
Come, Lynette, answer.
No, my friend is coming.
The whole night she like the guy like
Yeah.
Then like 30
Where is the
minutes,
friend?
30 minutes later, then I like, hey, your friend not coming ah?
oh my god, that's damn annoying. Guys, can you please don't do
That's
that.
so yeah.
Wait, but then I think that's a very tricky situation because if it's like a guy, it means it's a romantic gesture, right? But let's just say it's a platonic thing, okay?
Oh,
A platonic
okay.
would
thing
you
where
know?
someone wants to, okay, a female
Okay.
in our case, they just want to talk and make friends.
Okay, the bartender is a female. Then the bartender is asking you like, "Hey, your friend not coming?"
Oh, actually, I would chat. How about you?
Oh my god, I always give very like replies that people have nothing to reply to.
Like what? Example? One word. You try replying to that.
This is the kind of person that is hardest for me to work with.
No, it's like when I'm very tired, it's the same as when I'm very tired, I book a Grab to go home because I want to rest. And if the uncle keep talking to me, I'll just be like,
Actually, that's very stressful. Like when the uncle want to talk, then you just don't know what to say.
Actually,
like,
now the Grab, the quiet ride is the best feature.
Yeah.
but they will know that you tell them like, don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
But I think the extrovertness regarding that scenario that you raised, right? It really depends on your mood that day.
And the person.
If
Yeah.
your chemistry, the vibe check all align, right? I think I would end up inviting that person to sit down with me and talk. So there was this one time in one of my solo trips, two Singaporean girls bump into me and I'm like, come into my room then hang out. You want to shower in my toilet?
They recognize you lah.
Yeah, they recognized me from back then. So then I just started chatting with them and I invited them into my room.
I think there has been cases where like I meet someone new and then we get along. Those are fine. Like I can talk, especially if it's like a one-to-one setting. I think I can talk if I can vibe with the person, but I will not invite them into my closed space. Yeah. Like if people want to come my house, like I need to prep.
I feel that more nowadays also. Like
It's like your safe space.
yeah. Then like I need to come out of suddenly my comfort zone is not my comfort zone anymore.
because you're still playing host.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, if you already have your day mapped out, maybe not even consciously, but subconsciously, you are like dividing your energy into percentages. Like, okay, now I'm gonna like finish and exhaust my energy now. And then if someone's like, hey, you wanna have supper later? You're like, hey, I got 0 left.
And I realized that people don't really dare to mention that they don't have energy left. You usually come up with an excuse, right? Rather than to tell them that, sorry, I no more social energy.
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay,
so
You
I'm
won't
very
say social
tired.
energy lah. You just say
sorry,
I'm
I'm
very
too tired. I want to
tired.
go home and sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's past my bedtime. Actually, that's very like common nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes as a people pleaser, I'm pointing to you because you always say that you're a people pleaser. I would just like, oh yeah, can but maybe like 20 minutes. But I'm dying inside,
I
you
get
know?
that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this expectation on extroverts to always be down and be very outwardly open to talk about anything.
Yeah.
Because like extrovertness and having boundaries is very different. Your boundaries look different on different people. And being extroverted, there's someone that can come across very extroverted, but they are only that because of work. I know someone who's actually an introvert, but then because of work, they are very extroverted. And then once they are not at work, right, they're a completely different person.
Yeah.
And if you see them on the street, they're like, do not talk to me. So I feel that stress when sometimes I'm very tired. And I love playing host, but they're like, hey, can we go to your house after this? And then how do you say no to that?
Let me give you all a tip. When people want to come to your house, you just say, like, if you're staying with your parents, or my parents don't like. Then if my partner's sick.
It's like, just sick.
Yeah. Just come up with an excuse. It's like when you're walking in the same direction as someone, right? When after saying bye, hey, sorry, actually I'm taking a Grab. Then you like pivot.
Oh.
I always do that.
What? To lie to people?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I know this it's like very bad. Actually I'm going that way. Then just then I will walk one big round to go back to that same place.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, the worst is like when you say bye to the person, then you all continue. Like on the train, then
It's an thing.
then take the train together.
Okay, let the introvert teach you.
Okay, come.
Okay.
So when I realized that I am taking the same, like we are in the same station, and then you're also taking train, I'll be like, oh, where you stopping? And then I suss out like, okay, where you going? And then like, if like, let's say, it's really the same direction, and then it's going to be so many stops, right? I'll be like, oh, then I will go to oh, okay, I'm going to the other side.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for my friend.
Oh yeah, alternatively, it's just like, I'm meeting my friend at like Choa Chu Kang. But I'm not going to Choa Chu Kang, man. My boss.
Go first. It's like, wait, it's
No,
10,
what if they
15.
say, I wait for you?
Like, no, go. No lah, I wait
for you.
No wonder I wait for you.
I cannot.
Please don't wait for me.
Yeah, don't.
So what are some misconceptions that people have of both introverts and extroverts?
Oh, people assume that I'm rude.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I go somewhere and then like I'm just not talking because I'm shy or scared or like I'm just waiting for the right moment, then some people will think that like how come she not friendly?
Is it because you got a little bit RBF?
Not all introverts are shy, I would have to say.
That's true.
I think how I would define introverts is, as in what applies to me, is that your energy is drained from hanging out with people and you recharge it by being by yourself. But what I heard is extroverts gain energy from meeting people. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, there are people that make their introversion or extroversion their personality.
Like they put in their IG bio ENFP.
Yeah. Like, they put in their IG bio, and then like when they meet people, sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm an extrovert. Sorry, yeah," that kind of thing. Then I'm like, "You're not. It's not you being an extrovert. You're just annoying."
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. It's
right.
like, oh my god, so sorry, I'm a Virgo. Like, no, you're just an asshole.
Yeah, or like,
Like-
"Oh, sorry, I'm an extrovert. Is it very annoying?" And I'm like, yeah, you are annoying, but it's not because you're extrovert. You're just annoying.
As in
Yeah.
like they generalize everyone based on like
Yeah.
being
They
an
use it
extrovert.
as an excuse.
Or like people who are like rude, and like just style and like have no manners, that kind of thing,
No
right? Then they say,
EQ.
"Oh, sorry, I'm an introvert," that kind of thing. I'm like, hey, come on, like rude 就是 rude.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
Actually, on this note, right, I want to say that I feel like whether you're introvert or extroverted, right, it doesn't correlate to your communication skills.
Yeah.
Because I know of people who are very, very introvert and they don't work on their communication skills. And it really becomes like, it's so difficult to communicate
yeah.
with them. Even as an introvert, like I find it so difficult to talk to you.
That's true. Oh, I find that people always assume that introverts are very quiet. Like wouldn't really speak up for themselves, or maybe like are timid. They could have a very strong sense of self. They just prefer to be alone. You know what I mean? Like if you meet Charlie on first glance, you might think he's a bit quiet, but at home he talk a lot, you know. So it's like he's introverted by nature, but introverts also have some form of extroversion to them.
Yeah, with the right people.
Yeah.
Same goes for extroverts lah. Like
Yeah.
I mean sometimes we just want to wind down at home instead of just spending time with people.
Okay, I will say this. Even if I feel like I'm not, okay, you know, yeah, you guys are right. Because there are days, no, because I just realizing there are days where I will say like, oh, I have no energy to socialize. Someone comes here like, hey, hi, how are you? Like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
see?
I can turn it on and like almost unwillingly, because I know mentally I want to rest.
Yeah.
But because there's new energy in the room, I'm now recharged. But I'm recharged against my will. My battery, I don't want to charge on, but the battery just charged on its own.
Yeah.
So just now you mentioned about introverts always being assumed as quiet people. I think same goes for extroverts. People always assume that we're loud people.
When I was more extroverted, I was quite loud lah. And I think like also the communication skills bit was quite an interesting point, because I did feel that like there were points when I was younger where I would say insensitive things. But then now I feel like I have as my
not very
communication
violent.
as my communication skills have improved, and then I'm also a bit more quiet, then I think that like that sensitivity to other people has also improved. But there are people who are super highly extroverted, right? Who are also very high EQ and like sensitive to other people. Like they have empathy lah. Yeah. So I think that the misconception that, you know, an annoying person or like someone who's just being like rah-rah for the sake of it, right? Or extrovert is not necessarily the case lah.
Sometimes people are just doing that to compensate.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
It's not because they're an extrovert. It's because I think it's either they're insecure about their personality or I don't know, like some people really hate silences. Me. Sometimes I really hate silences. So sometimes I feel the need to fill the gaps with random ass conversations.
Yeah.
But I think with people I'm not super close to, I'll feel the need to entertain.
You do.
Huh?
Every time we meet, she will always be the person who like start like, so what do y'all do over the weekend or something like that?
Yeah. Going back to introverts, right? What are other struggles?
I think personally for me, right, because I'm an introvert, but I have always been in jobs that require me to be more expressive or like talk to people. Like I used to work in magazine, so I attended events a lot. And then now as a producer, I also have to like
Direct.
jaga the talents and all that. So sometimes it's a bit I wouldn't say it's a struggle or like it's just like out of my comfort zone now. But I would say that I appreciate that. Like I think that helped me sort of build on my communication skills also, so that I can just be like a normal person. Like I'm not,
You're not normal.
like, I won't just be like
You're not hampered by your introversion.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Actually, it's quite interesting. Do you all feel that like your introversion, extroversion has like influenced or hampered your career?
I feel like it hasn't, but when I'm in the act of doing it, sometimes I feel like I am not good enough.
Or like, oh, a more extroverted person can
Correct.
XYZ.
I've seen online also that extroverts tend to be not say promoted lah, but seen as leaders.
Correct.
Yeah. Then even though an introvert can do the same job, right? The extroverts, because they're louder, they vocalize more. It comes off like they know better.
Yeah.
So I think from an introvert's point of view, it feels a bit unfair. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it online, not me.
No, I think I've seen it in the workplace also. And to be fair, I do feel that like for myself, that being able to socialize with people has definitely helped me with my career lah. And also like just in managing people or managing your team or working together with other people. Because being able to like communicate your thoughts or being like just daring to say certain things, but in a sensitive way, it really plays a big role in like, okay, you're seen as someone that can handle your work.
Yeah, it's true. You could have the same capabilities, if not more, but because of your introverted nature, you might feel pressured or scared to speak out. Like it wouldn't feel natural to be like, actually, I think this might work. You know, like you actually had the idea, maybe you're going to present it to your boss later. But then someone who's extroverted, if they say it right in that moment, you kind of miss that chance and you lose the opportunity to present the idea, even though you could have gotten it. Like, now I'm just thinking how many introverts miss out on like promotions or like special tasks at work, at school, for example. For us as extroverts, it's very clear cut. If I have a thought, I think that it will work, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes you're like, you say it and they're like, oh yeah, actually I also thought about that. And I'm like, why don't I say, you know, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, this boils down to like personality.
Yeah. And I think like actually it's super interesting because there are a lot of introverted people who are highly capable, but people don't know that they are capable because they do such good work, right? But they don't communicate the work that they've done.
Something I got reminded of is because we are co-workers, right? And we are quite different in a way where if I have a thought, I might say it. But I think Lynette, sometimes she'll hold it back a little bit more.
I will consult someone in private before I say.
So I wanted to ask you guys, do you think your extroversion is tied to whether you're more confrontational as well? You get what I mean?
From a ENFP and from a
your identity now, huh?
From a MBTI point of view, right? The extroversion and confrontation, I think, is not a direct, like, there's no direct link. I think the one that is more relevant is the turbulent or
assertive.
So I think people who are more assertive are more self-assured that they are correct and things like that, right? Then they tend to be a bit more okay with confrontation. Whereas people who are more turbulent and always second guess themselves whether they are right, they are wrong, right? Then that's when they might be like, oh yeah.
I feel very conflicted on this because I'm just trying to put a scenario in my head where, okay, let's say an extroverted person feels like there is a conflict to be resolved with an introverted person, right? And the extrovert might be maybe someone with a people-pleasing nature. And then they're like, they are afraid to confront. And as a result, does that make them afraid of confrontation? I don't know how to approach it. Like, if someone confronts me, I'm okay to defend myself and fight back. But whether I'm willing to walk up to someone and be like, hey, you messed up here, I feel like that's very different. So how do you guys view confrontation?
I think the important thing is that you need to pick your battles. Like, don't go and like confront people and like argue for the sake of arguing lah. Like, what is the end result that you want to achieve? Like, okay, if it's a work thing, right? Me calling out your mistake, will it solve something or will it result in a better outcome for us? If it doesn't, then okay lah, let's just quickly move on and then like let's solve the problem.
I definitely will not confront other people.
Never.
Like, even if I do it, I think I do it in a very subtle way.
Example? Hey.
I'll do
With
the
a few
hamburger.
wine.
I'll do the hamburger. Like, I will start with a compliment. Then I'll say like, oh, okay, then maybe this one, like, whatever. Then I'll end off with, but good job. Or something like that.
Sandwich method.
But I'm a
Okay.
bit like Joie. Like, but if someone confronts me and I'm confident in what I was doing, then I'll be okay to just have that conversation.
Okay, so actually something that I found that was quite interesting, right? Are your partners all opposites of you?
Yeah.
Charlie is a introvert.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jess, my wife, is also introvert.
My partner is extrovert.
Oh,
And I
then-
mostly dated introverts.
yeah, so it's quite
Yeah.
interesting, So actually, why do you think this is the case? I mean, the TLDR is opposites attract, but like
Because
when
the
we really-
extroverts want you all to shut up. Just kidding.
yeah, so like extrovert and extrovert, I think like there's not enough airtime to go to split between the two people. Whenever I have gone out with a girl who is higher energy than me, right, then I just get annoyed.
You're like, oh no, it's not about me now.
Yeah, a bit like I'm just like, oh, okay. Just like very main character energy cannot. Like,
You need to be the main character. Is it? So
I
you're
am the
saying-
main character.
So are you saying that Jess is not a main character?
No, she's the main character in my
Of
life.
your
But she
story.
cannot be like she cannot like impose her main characterness on me.
Oh,
Like I must make you the main character in my narrative.
Oh my god.
prepare for the hate comments.
Okay. Controversial question. Are all extroverts self-centered?
Not all lah.
I feel like it can come across that way, but I definitely don't think that. I mean, we cannot generalize with anything
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general. But when we're talking about the relationship thing, I just had a bit of a revelation.
Okay, Lynette.
I'm so excited.
Woohoo!
How often do you cry? Oh my god.
Well, lucky never this one.
Wow,
Waste-
lucky
don't
never.
waste
This question was inspired by me.
I used to never cry. But like recently, I think maybe once every 2 weeks. Is that very specific?
Oh, that's not bad.
That's quite frequent, though.
Is it frequent? I thought you all cry more than that.
I haven't cried in a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
cry every other
Oh.
day.
Last time I
Yeah, it's
need
not every
to
other
watch
day.
movies to force myself to cry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Q.
If you could only have either your family, friends, or a romantic partner for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
But you haven't found your partner yet. Maybe that's why it's so easy to choose.
Oh, are you trying to say that Papa Yim and Mama Yim not important?
No, not saying not important, but
But
wow.
realistically, you should choose your life partner because your family brought you up to live your life to the
Yeah.
fullest, ma.
True.
No, as of now, my parents lah.
Wow, this
Sorry,
one-
I never include my siblings. Koko Zhe, I love you.
Ooh.
This one difficult. Okay,
Right,
Jane.
Mr. Yim?
Oh, me, okay.
Yeah.
What personality type do you wish you had?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
Emotional.
No,
lah.
I like
You
my
would-
personality
Yeah,
type.
I think he really likes himself.
yeah.
I'm quite
He
comfortable.
loves himself.
I'm quite comfortable like this.
Okay, no. If there's something, a trait that you wish you had,
No, I think more empathy, lor.
Oh, okay.
Which is something that I work very hard to be
Yeah.
now.
Sometimes your text messages quite rude. Then I'll tell you to stop being so rude to me. So he's
Yeah.
working on it, I think.
I'm working on it. But otherwise, everything else, I think great.
Okay, Joey.
Whoa. Would you rather live a short, exciting life full of adventure or a long, boring, but comfortable life?
I think first one for me.
Yeah.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, man. Live fast, die young, bad girls do it well.
What's the bad girls do?
Live fast, die young, bad girls do it well. Huh, you don't know this
I know
song?
Live Fast Die Young.
We all same generation one eh.
I think I will pick a long, boring, and comfortable life with
Interesting.
Charlie.
Oh.
Yeah, if
without
I'm
the
with my
Charlie,
partner, I want a long, comfortable life.
Mm.
Boring is subjective. In our daily lives, we are so extroverted that when we are with our partners, we want to be able to relax and feel the opposite because we are already so extroverted every day. When I'm with my partner, I want to be able to just chill. And my partner has a very quiet every day that when he's with me, it's a bit refreshing. So I think that safe, refreshing space is what makes it a healthy like exchange. Like, you know, I can bring out the noise in him and he can shut me up. Like he can help me be quiet and I can help him talk.
So actually, do you like that your partner is extroverted? And then as a follow-up, right, do you think over the years, he has made you more extroverted and you have made him more introverted? Or like,
I
no?
don't know. Like, I don't think I have ever thought of like, oh, I like you because you're extrovert. Yeah, it's not a thing. But like I agree with what Joey said just now, where at home, actually I'm the loud and crazy one.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I'm like the
Oh.
yeah, then I'm more opinionated at home also. Yeah, so like then at home he's more like chill, like he just wanna like do his thing lah.
Exactly. Same.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
same.
but I think that dynamic is interesting and it complements each other in different scenarios that you guys are at. Like, for example, tomorrow, I'm actually supposed to go and support a friend at a party. And obviously, I didn't want to go alone. Like, how apt, right? Like, I really didn't want to go alone, but I have already rejected this friend so many times. So I'm like, okay, I have to go and support him. And then my partner came in handy lah. I was like, can you just come with me? Yeah. Yeah. So it's like in situations like this, then like he helps balance me out. And then at home we shift the dynamic and then it's more interesting also.
Yeah. So I think that shift in dynamic is quite a common thing. Because between Jess and I also at home, I think she always wants to talk. She always wants to talk to me. But a lot of times I'm just like, I become like Lynette. I'm like,
Oh wow, that's so
I think
interesting.
it's a socializing hat that we put on. Like in a social setting, we are more extroverted. And so when we are at our core self and we don't need to socialize, then we just chill. Whereas
Yeah.
they do the opposite.
because I think
feel.
with your partner, you don't see it as socializing, right?
Yeah.
That is your safe space. So then that is when I rest and recharge.
So like for you guys, do you all feel like you need to take care of your introverted partners in social settings? Like, does it feel tiring sometimes
A bit.
that oh
No, not
No, it's very
tiring.
fast.
It doesn't feel
very fast.
it doesn't feel tiring, but sometimes I feel like I am responsible.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So when we are in a gathering, right, then I'll be like, you tired? Like,
Or like you have to care for her well-being.
or like I will ask like, you want to go home soon? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
me. I always have to text Jerome, even though we are literally in the same room.
Yeah.
I always have to text him and be like, can you go already? Like, like, are you done? Then
Are
like,
you done?
yeah,
She
then-
don't want to ask him also. She must like
yeah, because other people are around. Like for example, in the gym, then he starts talking to someone, and then I'm like, you want more set or you want more chat?
wow,
Let's go! Like,
damn. I like that. You want more set or you want more chat?
Right. Then how about you? Like, do you feel like Charlie relies on you?
He can be extroverted around the right people, and I think that's quite common for most introverts. Once they find that it's safe and it's not like having to present or put on that social like selling yourself kind of vibe, it's just talking.
I think over the years, it really balance each other out. Because I think that she's also part of the reason why I have become a bit more introverted. But I think that going back to Joey's point, right, I do think that there is a correlation between extroversion and self-centeredness. Yeah, so the last couple of years, I really try to like be less self-centered. So I think that as a byproduct of that is why I become more introverted also. So I try to be more sensitive to what people say, because as much as like in social settings, I'll be like, oh, are you okay? Like kind of thing to her. Then she does like something similar for me where after the gathering, right, she will say like, hey, just now you say like that, like, I don't know whether like this person like happy or not happy, that kind of thing. Yeah. Because I think she is naturally more like empathetic, right? So then she will have like better sensitivity to this kind of thing lah.
but you know, I think also because introverts, right, you don't talk so much, but then you are always observing other people.
Yeah.
So then you have all these like nitty-gritty details in your head
Yeah.
that you,
That's very interesting because as much as Charlie is an introvert, if he really not afraid to speak his mind one. But then for me, I'm more PC. Like I want to make sure that we don't say anything that could be possibly controversial to the group setting because everyone has different comfort levels. Like, you know, some groups you cannot make like dark jokes.
Yeah.
Charlie is very sure of himself. Like if you don't like, then that's your problem lah. But he's still an introvert. So I find that not caring what people think can
not
come
tied
with
to-
Yeah.
can come with introversion too.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, like what Nick said, right? Like even through our arguments and when we're having like, you know, not fights, but when we talk things out, I always find that sometimes I always wonder like, why am I always the one starting fights? You know, like why am I always the one that's pointing something out that I don't like? Am I just less tolerant or what is going on? And then when we talk, I realize, I mean, also it comes down to communication, but I realize there are some things that he doesn't like, but because of his nature, he's not going to bring it up every single time he feels it. Like for me, the moment I feel something is off, I will say, and I'll just be like, hey, I don't really like that. Whereas for him, he will like keep it in And it's not because he's going to keep in for ammo later. It's just because he's like, never mind, I don't want to bring up. I can let it go. And because of that, I realized actually there are things that he does on his own that he processes, he just lets go. And I tend to bring everything up. And as a result, I'm teaching myself to also just not. And as a result, I become more introverted that way too.
Okay. So maybe, the conclusion is that opposites really attract.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
feel
so.
we help each other grow as people and to understand the other perspective too.
So how do you all navigate small talk? Actually, I find small talk quite essential in life.
No, what do you mean by small talk actually? Like,
Okay, you just join a work call, okay? Big call. You are the first one. One other person joined, everybody else late.
Oh man, that's the
oh my
worst.
God,
That's
yeah.
the worst.
Then how?
Hey Shannon, how was your weekend? Huh?
Is Shannon an actual? No, right?
I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, no, let's just wait for a little bit longer. Then just off camera.
Yeah, so I got a lot of people who were just like off cam, off mic. Then like sometimes
pretend
when
they're
I don't have energy, right? Then I'll just be like, hey, I'm just going to grab some water. Then I off cam, off mic, but I'm still sitting there.
Can you imagine, right? Your cam not off. I'm just gonna grab some water.
Yeah,
Then
just sitting there. So usually you ask about weekend or like any exciting weekend plans. Then after that, I think it really depends lah. Like if you can vibe with that person, then see whether you want to offer up a bit more lor.
Oh my god, but do y'all have tips for small talks? Because I'm very terrible at small talks.
I think the easiest way to break the ice immediately, right, is to talk about something really deep, or like something that you both like trauma bonded about.
Weather,
I think it
talk about the
depends.
weather.
Oh my god, I always, my first instinct is to
very
always
hot,
say,
very hot,
yeah,
hor.
very hot. Then
Yeah.
after in my mind, I'm like, that's such a stupid
It's damn-
thing to
it's damn
say.
lame.
Yeah.
Damn lame.
But it always works.
Because
Yeah.
everyone hates the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get into a Grab, wait, uncle, very hot, oh. You say, yeah. Then after that, maybe and I say, wow, nowadays a lot of people sick,
Okay, I do have maybe an advice or a tip that I saw online. Instead of talking about all these things, right, the way to get people to like you or rather like relate to you is to compliment them. So if you give them a compliment instantly, right, because people like to talk about themselves. They like, like they
Right.
like the attention, right, that you did something to your hair or like you dressed really
Wow,
nicely,
but-
and then or you ask them, hey, where you get your shoes from? Then you start the ball rolling.
As a guy, sometimes I find it a bit hard to compliment other guys. Like sometimes a bit unnatural.
It's true.
I think it's so
I know
cute,
guys roast each other.
Yeah, they
Like
roast
how?
each other.
Oh, they were like, wow, new shoe, got so much money.
Wow, cut hair.
Why your
Wow.
face today like that? Or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, handsome.
Someone,
Actually, I always said that. I'm very annoying.
Okay, I can hear you saying all this.
Do you guys have any last tips and tricks or advice for people who are struggling to socialize, for introverts and extroverts?
I mean, I think the one tip from me is that like whether you are introverted or extroverted, it's important to be just sensitive to other people's feelings, lor. And like I think you need to be really selective about like what needs to be said and what doesn't need to be said. Yeah, at least from a extrovert, I thought that was super helpful for me lah. But I have also seen like, introverted people that like they struggle also with a bit like, should I say this? Should I not say this kind of thing? So I think when you have that EQ and that sensitivity to how other people will react to the things you say, right, then it helps you to make that decision like, okay, should I say this in this moment? Yeah.
I was about to say something similar. As an introvert, like maybe pick your battles. Like maybe sometimes pick like a good day to like put yourself out there. Maybe like be a bit outside of your comfort zone. I think that can really help you. I think don't just dwell into your introversion or extroversion because anything that is too extreme can be quite bad. Yeah.
I think for me, it's not to project your preference on the other person. Like what we mentioned before, just because we think that talking is fun doesn't mean they want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same goes for extroverted people lah. Like I think a lot of introverts sometimes tend to rely on us to carry the party. But sometimes it can get very tiring for us. Yeah.
I think practice makes perfect. Like the more you talk to people, the more you kind of get a vibe for what questions you usually steer towards, like where your interests are. For me, I like asking hypothetical questions because that helps me to. It's funny, right? It's lighthearted. Like I like to ask like, oh, if you could pick any celebrity to have dinner with, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Wow, you mean like our question
Questions
pod,
like that. Yeah, like
actually,
I
it's
like
true.
little questions like that because these questions are not stressful. Like they need to talk about their life or they need to talk about their work or like how tired they are. It's like a question that can also help me understand them. And if they're like, actually I don't know, they'll be like, oh, okay. Then if they ask me back, then I say something, then maybe it can spark something back, you know? I think it's a bit of a push and pull, but of course, read the room. And I think you can kind of vibe. If someone doesn't really want to talk, then I think maybe don't push it. I think that's when you can start to be a bit of an energy vampire. Thank you for joining us on the Hot Pot. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Me Listen.
And if you haven't already, do remember to subscribe to the channel as well.
And of course, thank you, Lynette, for being here today.
Thanks for having me, guys. You all really put me at ease.
Yay.
Like I was so nervous at the start, but now I'm like
An
comfortable.
Now your armpit's dry already.
Correct. Still a bit wet, moist.
A bit moist.
Damp.
So is there anything on clarity that you are producing that we should be keeping a lookout for?
Thank you for asking. Yes, I've been working on a new talk show. Sonia Chu is the host. If you guys have followed Men Explain, I think y'all will like this new talk show. So keep a lookout for that.
All right.
Subscribe to Clarity. And you got watch.
Subscribe and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. You know what will always work? Bucking.
What's barking?
Barking.
Yeah.
Like woof.
Unwanted male attention. Roar! They will come walk away one.
do before, is it?
No, but I want to do, but married already. How to do?